Oh, goodness. Hello, cheapskaters. I'm Kath Armstrong, creator of the Cheapskates Club, and I'm having terrible trouble with the lights tonight. I don't know what's wrong with them. Anyway, if you're new to our channel, welcome. We are really, really glad to have you join us. And if you're not new, welcome back. I'm really, really glad to have you join me. I've just been reading the comments, folks. Kerry, ignore the grumble bums, for want of a nicer term. Ignore them. If people can't be happy for you when something good happens for you, it's their problem, not yours. Just ignore them. We are all really excited when you share the bargains that you get, because we all like good bargains. Joy, I will message you after the show. And I'd like to say, ding, 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 we have a winner. Not for the dehydrator, guys. Come on, we need 5,000 subscribers. So if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, the subscribe button's just down there, just there. Click that subscribe button, and that puts you, that's all you have to do to be in the chance to win, or in the running to win, have a chance to win a Sunbeam electronic food dehydrator. It's the same as the one I use in my kitchen. It is a workhorse and it is wonderful, and I am waiting to pack it up and send it to some wonderful Cheapskates subscriber. So subscribe, click the little bell notification icon-y thing if you want to be notified when we go live, when I upload videos, so that you don't have to rely on your memory or on my memory and remembering to send things out that we're coming up for a show. Really simple, but two little things. But over on Cheapskates Chatter, which is our Facebook group, and if you are not already a member of our Facebook group, we would love to have you over there too. Easy. 2 questions or 2 quick things you've got to do. Answer the question and agree to the terms and the group rules. 2 things. If you don't do those, we won't accept you into the group. It's not that we don't want you, but we don't want troublemakers. We don't want spammers. We don't want fishers. We don't want robo group joiner-uppers. We want real people. So answer the question. It's really, really simple. And agree to the group rules, and you'll be in. We will love to have you in our Facebook group. It's called Cheapskates Chatter, and that's what we do. We chat about all things cheapskates. Now, just before I came on, and I think I've shut it, the lovely Trish was posted underneath my notification for tonight's show that she had a question. She wanted to know if anyone could guess what the topic of tonight's show was. So she got a response from Delaney, who is on tonight, and I hope you're feeling better. And if you go to sleep, don't worry about it. We understand busy days. Delaney got the topic right, or got the golden rule right, because tonight I'm going to talk about the golden rule of cheapskating. So I did a quick scrounge around my room here, and I found a dishcloth. So I'm going to pop that in the post to you, Delaney. I'll get that off in the post tomorrow. It's Wednesday. I'll go to the post office. For getting it right. Just a spur of the moment things, folks. But a little bit of fun to get our show started too. Alrighty, yes, golden rule of cheapskating is spend less, save more. It's not rocket surgery, like I said, or rocket science, brain surgery, whatever you want to say. It's not. It's simple. If you spend less and save more, you don't have financial worries. You are able to manage your money. It doesn't manage you. Really, really important. So let me see. I've got notes here. But A lot of people don't know how to spend less. And right now, on the 15th of March, 2022, spending less is a really good thing. I don't know about where you live, but where we live, petrol was $2.25 a litre over the weekend. We didn't need it, thank goodness, but that means that a 70 litre tank would cost $150. You will fill up a 70 litre tank, I'm pretty sure that's right. Let me just check. Let me get my trusty brains out. 2.25 times 70, $157.50 just to fill up a normal tank of petrol from empty to full. That's a lot of money, guys. That is a lot of money. And you have to find that money somewhere. So you either work more to earn more, or you sell off something that you're not using, or you spend less so that you've got it. It is common sense. If you spend less, then you can save more. You need to train yourself to do both those things. For a lot of people, spending less doesn't come naturally, but it's even more unnatural to actually save. They don't get the saving part of the spend less, save more, because they think if they've bought something and it's on sale and it's normally $10 and they've only paid $6 for it, they think they've saved $4, but they haven't. What they've done is not spent $4. It's not saved until it's safely tucked away in a savings account or an emergency fund, or put into your peace of mind account to cover something. That's when it's saved. Until then, it's just not spent. So, and this is where becoming a cheapskate, new cheapskaters, find it a little tough. Now, we all know that creating a spending plan or a budget or whatever you want to call it, and setting goals is a hard job. We know that we have to focus on that, and we need to pay attention to detail. I've stressed that over and over and over. There is no such thing as no budgeting finance. Not if you want to stay out of debt, not if you want to build savings, not if you want to live without financial stress. It's a popular concept, gained a lot of momentum over the last few years, but it doesn't work. But if you put all that effort in and the attention to detail, if you don't learn to spend less and actually save what you're not spending, it's wasted. It's wasted effort, wasted time, wasted hopes and dreams, because we all become cheapskates because we want to learn how to live life debt-free, cashed up and laughing, don't we? I know I say that very glibly and it rolls off my tongue quite quickly, but that's why we live the cheapskates way, so that we have financial freedom, so that we don't have to worry about a bill when it comes in because we know that we can pay it. We don't have to worry about emergencies such as unemployment in the future because we've built up an emergency fund. We know we can maintain our lifestyle. So that is one of the hardest things to learn about living the cheapskates way, how to cut spending and actually save money. We can all make spending plans, and we can all set goals for reducing debt and then eliminating debt, and they are really, really important things to do. But unless you actually master spending less every day on every single thing and saving what you don't spend, then your effort's wasted and you won't get ahead. Now that sounds a bit Debbie Downer, doesn't it? But I have to be Debbie Downer before I can be Happy Hannah, Happy Harriet. Hannah's not here tonight. So we have to learn how to spend less. We live in a society that encourages us to do nothing but spend. Absolutely nothing but spend. Now, we need to learn how to not spend. And when we do, how to spend less. It's a big step for so many people. It's something they have to confront so that they can become more frugal, so that they can really live the Cheapskates way and enjoy it. You have to learn to spend less. It's all there is to it. I keep saying this over and over because I need to reinforce that concept. You need to spend less. For a lot of people that come to Cheapskates and want to learn how to live the Cheapskates way, this is really tough because they haven't had to do that. They haven't learned how to do it, and they haven't had to actually live on less. They've just merrily gone along debting and creating more debt and living supposedly happily, spending. And now they don't. They have to stop. They have to spend less. So learning to spend less is difficult unless you put your pencil to paper and you're determined to make this a goal. You are determined that in 2022 you are going to learn to spend less. Now, I know there's a lot of you in Cheapskates, on Cheapskates Chatter and in the Members Centre who have already mastered this. You're all really good at it. But there's a lot of new cheapskaters that come in and they're starting from scratch. They're coming in, they've got to learn the baby steps. They've got to figure out what their goals are, figure out what their dream is so that they can work towards it. Because it is work, guys. Nothing but work. But it's fun work. All right, now, if you can just give me one little moment. I'm going to zip over here for a second. Sorry, guys. No fan. It's stifling hot in here tonight, and I don't know why. So I just put the fan on. That might help. Right, back to my notes. You need a goal. We all need goals. I still have goals, Could just be to get out of bed in the morning, but it's a goal. And this week it has been to get out of bed in the mornings. I've had, I don't know what I've had, but it's been odd. Okay. You also need determination. Without determination, without a goal to work towards, you have nothing to aim for. So why would you bother? So we need to learn how to spend less. So I'll get eye rolls and groans, I know, but you actually need to sit down and take the time to have a good look at where your money has been going. Now, if you're doing the saving revolution, you've already done this. If you're a long-time cheapskater, you'll know I encourage everyone to do this. Write down everything you have spent your money on, from fast food restaurants to clothes shopping to grocery shopping to petrol, coffee, phone bills, paying the electricity bill, birthday cards, you bought stamps, whatever. Every cent you spend, have a look at it, make a note of it for the last week. Then for this week, grab yourself a notebook or a piece of paper, an envelope. Do it on your phone if you can, and do the same thing for now on. So if you get petrol, write it down or make a record of it. The groceries, if you buy fish and chips for tea, make a note of it. If you pay the gas bill or the water bill, or you buy a bag of potting mix, make a note of it and how much it costs. Just, write the date for the beginning of each new day. And if you can, do Monday the 14th and Tuesday the 15th, that helps, because it helps you figure out why you are doing what you are doing when you do it. Write down every cent you spend. Include the bills you pay. I mentioned those, the gas, the water, the electricity. If you've got credit card payments or a mortgage payment or whatever, write it down. If you post a letter, write down the cost of the stamp if you've had to buy it. You buy a birthday card, write down the cost of the card. It is tedious. I will give you that. It's tedious. And if you're not used to doing this, it will be hard work for a while. But the reason for writing it down is so you can find out exactly where your money is going. We call it tracking your spending. That's what you're doing. Once you find out how many times a week you're actually eating lunch out, or how many cups of coffee you have each day, and who heard on the news tonight that they're expecting coffee to go to $7 a cup, takeaway coffee to go to $7 a cup. Oh my goodness. Don't get me started, but it's conditioning, guys. By announcing it and talking about it for a few weeks before it happens, we're not surprised when it happens because, they told us this was going to happen. Baloney. I need to know why it's going to cost so much, coffee in Australia. Maybe the coffee itself, although we do grow coffee in Australia, but we don't import milk. We don't import sugar into Australia. So there should not be shortages of those things. We shouldn't be waiting for them to come from overseas. The coffee, maybe we don't grow enough to fill our domestic needs. It's $7 a cup. Make your own at home. Seriously, make your own at home. And if you want to know how to roast coffee beans, I've got a really good how-to on that over in the Members Centre. So, when you work out how much a day all those things cost you and see where the money's going, then you'll really quickly figure out where you can cut the expenses. Really quickly figure it out. So, it's really, coffee is nice, but not at $7. Even I wouldn't pay $7 for a coffee. I'll go over some money saving tips in a minute, so don't panic that you won't be able to buy your coffee ever again. You probably will be able to, but you'll be thinking about it as you do it. Now, once you've written all these details down, take a look at what you're buying. How many times did you eat out this week? How many magazines did you buy? I'm surprised, but people still buy magazines. How many stops at the local coffee shop? How many times did the kids get lunch orders? How many times did you go in to buy fuel and pick up a chocolate bar or something? Because they always say to you, would you like to buy a whatever and get an extra cent a litre or 2 cents a litre of your petrol? So write all that down, everything. Keep a note of it. Then total up how much you spent each time you did all those activities. So every time you bought a coffee through the week, you've made a note of it, total it up at the end of the week. You might just be not surprised, but stunned at exactly how much money is spent on non-essential things. Because these things are nice, but they're not essential. Now, I'm not trying to destroy your spirits, especially now we're all a little stressed. We've had over 2 years of non-stop stress and bad news after bad news after bad. I'm not trying to do that. I don't want to do that. I just want it to be an eye-opener so that you can begin a plan of action to figure out ways you can spend less so that you have money to save more. Once you've tracked your spending, you see where all your hard-earned money goes, you've taken a deep breath, sat down, had a cup of tea. It's time to learn some valuable money saving tips to help you learn to spend less. Now, I'm always learning. I've lived this way for almost 3 decades. I'm still learning. There's always something to learn. And I don't want you to be afraid, because nothing discussed here is going to harm you in any way. These are basically just a set of guidelines to help you through the process of learning how to spend less money and save more of it. So get your piece of paper or your notebook or your phone or whatever it is, and take the list of all the places you've spent money at for the last week. Are there any transactions you can cut? Maybe you decide, instead of stopping at the coffee shop each morning, you can get yourself a French press or a coffee maker. You can buy some pods and make yourself a coffee at home each morning. If you put the coffee into a thermos or a thermos travel mug, you can take it to work with you. We have really, really good, not thermos brand, but thermoses, travel mugs that didn't cost much. They're about $7 each. They are brilliant. They keep the coffee piping hot. In fact, when we are away and we try to buy something, when we're away traveling, we have a rule of every little town or village we go through, we try to buy something to keep that village alive. So most of the time it will be fuel, but usually sometimes it's not. So we'll try and look for something else, and it might be coffee. So we'll get our coffees. I put them into these thermos mugs because they just are so good. And I'm pretty sure they either came from Kmart or Aldi. They were not expensive, but they are brilliant. Now, if you don't want to do that, fine. You could buy a coffee machine and some pods for work. Put it in the kitchen at work. Or ask your boss. If you don't have one, ask the boss to put one in. If everyone bought their own pods, and the pods are pretty cheap, you'll still get your coffee. You just won't be paying $5, $6, $7 for it. You won't be spending, a lot of money to have your coffee. So that's money saved already, isn't it? Even one a day, 5 days a week is $25 to $30. Look, you can buy instant coffee, you can buy flavored coffee sachets, you can make your own. There's a whole heap of recipes for those in the Members Centre. That'll save you even more money. Best thing is you actually get to make it to the strength that you like, and you can flavour it the way you like it. Another biggie, and I'm always surprised at the number of people that don't take their lunch to work. Look, instead of spending, $8 to $15 or $20 a day on lunch, make your lunch at home. You can spend $15 to $20 on lunch options at the supermarket while you're doing your grocery shopping, and make your lunches for the week. Do them ahead of time and put them in the fridge. There's all sorts of options that you can do. things like you can freeze sandwiches if you want to. Not a fan of frozen sandwiches myself, but you can do that. Salads in a jar. You could do extra serves of whatever nightly meal you're having and put them in microwave containers, microwave safe containers. Store them in the fridge. You could just buy frozen pizza and heat it up and take it to work now, or take the pizza and heat it at work if you can. Compare the price, which is about $3.50, I think they are at Coles. It's pretty ordinary pizza, but you can jazz it up at home. When you compare it to the cost of buying one from one of the pizza chains, even, big difference. So think about things like that, because you're not spending that money. You're not spending a lot of money, which means that you will have more. You're spending less, so you're going to have more to save. Let me see. You could make your own pizza at home. We have a recipe for penny pinching pan pizza dough. It's really good. It's really easy. I do it. I usually do 4 or 5 recipes of that at a time and freeze them. It's cheaper. You could do muffin pizzas. You could do flatbread pizzas. One of my favorites when I was younger was flatbread, and I would use a tin of tomato supreme, which is an Edgell product, and I'm not sure whether you can still get it anymore, and a tin of mashed soybeans. So I drain the soybeans, mash them, put it through the tomato supreme, spread it over the pita bread, sprinkle it with some cheese, and heat it in the oven. And it's really, really good. It is really, really good. And I know that there's been a bit of conversation going on about soybeans lately too. Soybeans are perfectly good for you. Perfectly good for you. You can eat them. They are fine. And they're inexpensive. And they're versatile. You want to go meatless? Look at soybeans. If you do have to work out, whether it's for work or pleasure, or I can't be bothered at home, look for vouchers, look for coupons, look for 2-for-1 offers. See if it's cheaper to do it at lunchtime than it is at tea time. See if the portions are really large, if you can just get one and share it. Now, you might need to pay for the cutlery and the plate. There's usually a small surcharge for the extra plate and the extra set of cutlery, but it's not as much as the cost of 2 full meals. Something to think about. It's better to save a few dollars than to worry about what people think of you. And if you've used the voucher, or if you're sharing a meal, halving the cost of that meal. They will probably still be in debt when they die. They will leave their children debt. That's not what we aim to do. Don't want to leave my children megabucks, but I plan to not leave them debt. So, people that frown at you, mock you, talk about you, turn their nose up at you, are trying to make you feel inferior. Well, you're not. You're not. You're very wise. You're very smart. And you are going to be debt-free. You're going to have money in the bank. You're going to be laughing when they struggle to put food on the table. Just think about that. Now, let me pop back over here because, oh my goodness, there's a lot of comments going on today. Is he? Goodness gracious me. Okay, so Joy, classic example. Here we go. Joy's making sure she catches the train to work. Now, I know Joy has to leave really super early to get the train to work. $4.65 per day on the train versus 80 kilometres at $23 per day. You're right, it's a no-brainer. You'd just about be working for nothing in terms of fuel and then wear and tear on your car and the tolls, the tyres, parking if you have to pay for parking. So it is a no-brainer. It's probably, although it might be more convenient to catch a train at the moment, you can sit back and read or sew or do something. But yeah, you need to do these things and think about things. Delaney, if you can sell your Corningware percolator, you will make mega bucks. Corningware, the traditional, the white with the blue, the original Corningware, is going for, I'm stunned at the prices it's going for. And even some of it made me laugh because they called mine vintage. I didn't realise it was quite that old. But my Corningware is the white with the sort of orange and brown peppers and pumpkins and stuff in the little motif on it. So you might even want to use your Corningware percolator for something else. Right now. Yeah, Kathy's had to double her fuel budget. That hurts. If you are going, guys, I've covered this in some of my notes, and I think I've talked about this before, but some of the notes for the preparedness shows cover this. If you're going to get an old style stovetop percolator, make sure it is stainless steel. Don't get an aluminium one. Why I say that is because on your kitchen hot plate or gas hob, the aluminium is fine because it doesn't get that hot. But if for whatever reason you were using a gas camp stove or even over an open fire, a campfire or whatever, the aluminium ones don't take the heat and they will actually melt. Want to know how I know? So stainless steel. Now you used to be able to get a really, really good stainless steel 2-cup. They came in 2-cup and 4-cup and 6-cup percolators. I think the 2-cup was about $20 at Woolworths. I can't run out to the shed and find it for you, but it works really, really well. Works inside and works over an open fire too, or a campfire or a barbecue grill or whatever. But just make sure it's stainless steel. You might pay $5 more for it perhaps, but it will last you for just about ever. Now, let me go. Lots of comments. Karen's hubby's a problem with budgeting. Okay, maybe. Oh, where am I? Can you take over in that he gets his pocket money, like you get your pocket money, but you manage the finances? You can still sit down with him every week or fortnight or month or whenever you get paid and go through the budget with him and explain where the money's going and what bills are being paid, what bills are coming up and that sort of thing. But can you take it over so that he doesn't have to stress about it, and just make it so that he gets his pocket money. And if it's anything else, you have to do the $100 24-hour rule. So if it costs more than $100, you have to wait 24 hours before you can buy it. And in that 24 hours, he has to talk to you about it. It's not easy when you have someone who isn't on the same plane as you for finances. It is really, really tricky. It depends. Good luck. Well done for your daughter, Kathy. Yeah, Kerry, don't take him shopping. Leave him at home. His job is to unpack and put away. All right. So, Barb, speaking of tea, I like a particular brand of tea that is often on sale at Coles for half price. When it is, I will stock up. We discovered, or Hannah discovered, about 3 weeks ago, a different brand, similar packaging. It's called Queen tea. We had never tried it before. Now, if my regular tea is on half price, the Queen tea is more expensive. If my regular tea isn't on half price, it's actually cheaper, and it's 100 bags as opposed to the 80. But sometimes it's actually on half price. So you get $5 for 100 bags, and it is actually quite nice. If I didn't have a few boxes of my favorite, I would seriously consider switching, and I probably will when I'm getting low on my tea. So just something you might think about. It's called Queen. Comes in strong, extra strong, Earl Grey, green tea. There's a whole range of them. Anyway, but it is called Queen tea. So. It's my only issue with that is casual wages are higher because there's no annual leave paid and no sick leave paid. So you're supposed to put some aside to cover those things if you are a casual worker. Now remember, Hannah worked casual for from when she finished school till 2 years ago. She worked casual, but she still managed to save a deposit for her house. She went overseas, she bought her car, she paid her own way. So I'm guessing lots of people don't know how to budget. Have to say, Glenna, sometimes a good cup of coffee made properly, served nicely, it's a treat. Good on you. Sharon doesn't buy magazines. Okay. All right. Question, Linky family. Kath, I know paying out debt is priority number one, but how much of the money you save should go to debt and how much to peace of mind or emergency fund? Okay. Always pay your bills. So you've obviously got your debt as part of a bill in your budget. So you are paying that minimum always. That minimum payment shouldn't change from what it is today. Do your budget today and it's $460. So even in 3 months, when officially it's less, you're still paying $460 off that debt because you want to clear it quickly. You need to build your emergency fund. You need to build your emergency fund to at least 1 month's worth of income. Once you've done that, You've got that backup so that you know if something happens and it goes pear-shaped, you can survive for at least a month, and you'll be able to stretch it to 2, probably 3 if you're really clever. So you've got that backup. Then you can start putting money, extra money off your debt. Now, I know people go, oh, you've got to get out of debt, you've got to get out of debt. Problem is, if you push everything onto your debt and the car breaks down, the toilet blocks, the fridge stops working, you have no backup. You have no savings. You have no emergency fund to fall back on. So you get more into debt. You're back on the debt cycle. You don't want to do that. Keep paying your debt while you are building, but you need at least 1 month's emergency fund before you start thinking about putting extra into your debt, your payment push for debt. Now, your peace of mind account, again, is covered in your budget. So you know you've got to do it, so it becomes a part of your monthly budget until it's covered. Does that make sense? As for figures and percentages, I don't give those because everybody is different. We all live different ways. We all live different lives. We all try to live to be debt-free, but we all live different lives and ways. Okay. And he's not allowed to go and pay for fuel because she always comes out with chocolate. All right. Now, Coles brand gold. Yep. All right. Yorkshire tea is really nice. If anyone is interested in good tea, Yorkshire tea is nice. Okay. Kerry bought the $1.20 Kievs this week. Yes, and 50 cents of that $1.20 was going to the Red Cross blood appeal, which I thought was rather nice. I just hope it gets there and then gets used. Okay, need to get back on track. We're going to be running out of time again. Where am I? Here. All right. So, where did I finish off? Oh, yes. Don't worry about what people think. If you are, I know it can be hurtful. It gets to me sometimes. But, you can turn eating out on a budget into an incredible socializing event by making it a competition. My in-laws and my auntie and uncle and a couple of other friends used to do this. They used to take it in turns to find the nicest, cheapest restaurant or cafe, and they had a standing date once a month, so it was the third Thursday of every month. They would get together at whoever's turn it was had chosen, and they'd keep a track. And at the end of the year, whoever had found the best and cheapest restaurant got their dinner paid by the group at the next outing. Now, they had some really interesting places they went to. They found different restaurants. They found different cafes. They went to different suburbs and different parts of Sydney because they were all in Sydney to do this. It was a social outing for them, and it was fun. And it was, often under $25 a couple. That's a pretty cheap meal out. So think about doing that. There's ways you can do it that, it doesn't have to be, oh, you're so poor you can't afford to go out. Oh, people don't need to feel sorry for you, and they don't need to put you down. Turn it into a competition. It's fun. Make it a challenge. It's fun. Now, go back to your list and look at how you paid your bills. Most bills these days, I think, are probably done by direct debit, although I know there are some older people who still like to go and actually pay the bill at the post office or the wherever. I'm not sure that anyone sends checks anymore. I really don't know. Most companies will give you the option of paying your bills online or by direct debit. They actually prefer it because they're sure of getting their money. But it saves you too. It saves you stamp. It saves you petrol. It saves you waiting to go to the post office or the bank or whatever, line up at whatever store or utility service it is. Some companies will even give you a discount on your bill for paying online or by direct debit. Occasionally you have to ask for it, but it could be there. Get your statements and check and see if it's an option. And if it's not, ring them and ask. They can only say no. Phone calls cheaper, or if they've got online chat, do it that way. And now we're on to the real biggie. How much did you spend on fuel for your car? We just saw Joy's going by train and saving a small fortune. She's saving $18, over $18 a day. The petrol prices fluctuate. They go up, they go down, they go up, they go down, they go up, they go down. And usually without warning. And that means that your expenses go up, car expense goes down. On a whim. It feels like on a whim to me. So think about the amount you travel. Is it possible for you to take public transport to work or the shops? Is carpooling an option? Can you ride a bike? Can you walk? The goal is to cut down on how much petrol you use and thus how much you are spending. And the easiest ways to do this are public transport, carpooling, riding a bike or walking. And they're all good for other reasons too. So if you find you're spending a large proportion of your income on petrol or diesel or gas and maintenance on your car, would downsizing or upgrading, depending on what type of vehicle you have, would that be an option that would cut the expense and free up some money to be saved? Something to think about. Now, another example is to look at how much you're spending on things like buying clothes or makeup or hobby materials. On the hobby materials, I've been really, really good. I'm using what I have. But if you're not, and if you've been buying things, consider a swap night with friends. Make it a social occasion. Invite 5 or 6 of your friends to get together and you can swap clothes, you can swap books, you can swap craft materials or kids' toys or seeds, whatever. And that way you're all getting the things you want or need free and you're decluttering at the same time. It's a fun thing to do. It's a fun thing to do. If you like, I was going to say, if you like movies and going to the movies, who has been in the last 2 years, it might be cheaper to look into Netflix or Stan or Prime Video or whatever. I don't know about those things. We have Netflix because the kids pay for it. They combine and pay for it for Wayne Father's Day, although it has just gone up, so they may not be doing that anymore. He gets a gift that he really likes and uses, and we all use it actually. They give him something that he likes and it's within their budget. So think about something like that. Often there'll be discounts for new accounts, so take advantage of them. You might get 1 month free or 2 months free or whatever. Take advantage of them. So we've found ways, we've figured out what the expenses are, we've worked out how to cut them. Now you have to actually save the money. The money that you haven't spent, because you really haven't saved it until you've put the money in the bank. So open as a savings account if you don't already have one. You can call it, found savings. Give it a name so that you know what it is. And then when you do make a saving on a spend, put the saved amount straight into the bank. Remember I said, you buy something you bought is normally $10, you get it for $6. You just didn't spend $4. You save that $4 when you move it into the bank. And you have to do it straight away. No procrastinating, no putting it off, no waiting till whenever. As soon as you get home, do it straight away. Because money isn't saved until it's in the bank. Until then, it's just not spent. We all need to save, especially now, especially in March 2022, we all need to save. So the money we don't spend, we move to savings. Then it's saved, guys. Okay, now I'm back here. Back to comments, because they're piling up on me faster than I can go through them. There you go. Depressed Caravan buys the Aldi cheese pizzas and adds toppings to them. Cool. Well done. I really liked making the lunches. I used to do the kids' school lunches. They're perfectly capable of doing their own, but I like to do them. I like to do Wayne's lunch. We have different lunch boxes for different things. It's what we do. It's nice. It's fun. Hi, Leanne. How you going? Thank you. Joy says Tomato Supreme is available at Woolworths. It is an Edgell product. Comes in a little tin, about 300 grams or so. It's probably shrunk since then. Tomato Supreme on pita bread with mashed soybeans. Put some cheese on the top. Bung it in the oven and let that cheese melt. The best pizza. It is so good. Absolutely love it. Okay. Hello, Darian. Meal planning, yes. All right. How much more will you dislike budgeting once you retire or disaster strikes? Practice now, people. Well said, Delaney. Having lived through a disaster and a couple of small hiccups, I can tell you that preparing by way of budgeting makes the disaster not nearly as much of a disaster, makes the hiccups just a blip that you get over really, really quickly. It's not easy. If you have a mortgage, it's not easy. If you pay rent, it's not easy. If you have debt, it's not easy. If you have children, it's not easy. If you have health issues, it's not easy. Everything costs money. Everything costs money. It's learning how to live on what we have and then learning how to live under what we have so that we have money left over. That's a real skill. If you can master that, you're home and hosed. If you can do that, you are home and hosed. You also need to be content within yourself. So I often say that you can live on a really, really tight budget for a short time. It's not forever. It's only until the debt is cleared or until whatever, you've reached your $5,000 in your emergency fund or whatever it is. It's only for a short time. You can do it for a short time. It's not forever. You're not going to live this way on a really, really tight budget for the rest of your life. You won't need to. You probably will find that it becomes a habit. And yes, you will occasionally splurge, but you'll be able to because you can afford it. So it's really important, especially I think the older we get and the closer we get to retirement, because I'm really itching to retire, or for Wayne to retire. I don't want to be retired and in debt. I just don't want to. And his wife still clips coupons from the Sunday paper that they don't pay for. They get it used off their neighbour. There you go. He's if you go to the members in the members centre, I've written a bit about Warren Buffett, and not so much his investing strategies, because that's not what I do, but about his philosophy of life. Some things I might not agree with, but it's pretty interesting. It's pretty good, and it is. It's interesting to see Cheapskating, Buffett sort of work side by side. All right. Hello, Yvonne. Delaney's got 2 teapots in my pattern. Oh, nice. I love that Corningware. It's so good. Fortune favours the prepared. It's not a bad saying. There you go, Jane. Tim Tam's half price, $2 at Coles this week. Because that starts tomorrow, I assume. Give him a goal, something to save for. Hi, Karen. I thought it was just called Queen Tea, but it might be Queen Victoria Tea. Same size boxes as the Twinings, almost look like they're a rip-off of the Twinings boxes, actually. So it might be Queen Victoria. I thought it was just Queen, though. But it's not a bad price, and it's actually quite nice tea. Hannah bought one of the little 10 tea bag packs to try. So I like the extra strong barb, so I only get 80 in a box. Yeah. Linky family, good. Glad to know it made sense. Sometimes I wonder, because I do ramble a bit. Okay. We were just talking about the price of coffee. Jane, takeaway coffee. Well done, Kathleen. Credit on an electricity bill. Jane's using e-bikes because of the high price of fuel. Okay. Chris, hopefully at 6:30, if you're leaving at 5:30 in the morning. Hopefully traffic isn't so bad, so you're not wasting fuel sitting in big long lines of traffic. That would be your only compensation, I suppose. I have no idea. The scooters around town, I don't know. All right. Okay. So where was it? I've lost it. Netflix, you can share it across, if anyone's got Netflix, you can share it across households. Well, we are up to our limit, I think, with the 5 of us on it. So, but I don't use Netflix quite so much. Wayne does a lot. He has friends that have a Canadian friends that have Canadian farming friends that have a YouTube channel, and he follows them on YouTube. Watches their videos on YouTube. Okay, so here we are, 8:31. Remember, if you are not already subscribed, please do. Oh, nice. Well done. It would be nice and peaceful and quiet. Yes, great for traffic. So you'd be able to at least maintain speed too, which is always good. So you keep your revs low. We were talking about this in the car. Wayne and I went out yesterday. We were talking about in the car. He's going, oh, if I put it into sports mode, it rides smoother. The car rides smoother, but it revs higher. So we're better off having it in whatever mode, because then it drops the revs right back down, which means we're not using as much fuel. But we're just yabbering about this and trying to work it out, because let me tell you, we're getting really, really expensive. We're seriously considering changing our trips to be closer to home. Maybe we can go the end of the street and back. I don't know. Because even going to Hannah costs a small fortune. It's a 275 kilometre round trip. So that sort of costs a bit. Okay, so yes, haven't subscribed, please do. If you like the show tonight, thumbs up would be really good. I'd appreciate it so much. It does wonders for our YouTube profile, because YouTube has all sorts of, it's called engagement. And the number of comments and the number of thumbs up reactions that we get has a big impact on our YouTube profile. So that would be really, really good. I will be back next week with another show next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. It's getting dark earlier. Another couple of weeks, and daylight saving will be over, and we'll be into the winter weather. Okay, have a really good week, everyone. Stay safe, and remember, keep calm and keep cheapskating. Night.